Ladies and gentlemen, like I said he would, President Trump officially endorsed Jim Jordan for Speaker of the House. This is very good for a number of reasons. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Number one, you have a true bulldog, not only a loyal Republican ally of Trump, but somebody who has integrity in Congress. You look at their attempts at trying to smear Jim Jordan. The man literally did nothing wrong ever, just like Matt Gaetz. They can't find anything, even though they investigate Democrats. What they do is they accuse him of knowing that somebody committed a heinous crime. He didn't, but they accuse him, so they use the word, a different spelling for his name, Jim. Okay. So they try to accuse him of things he never did, which is what media and Democrats do all the time with opponents of Biden. They did it to Matt Gaetz. They do it to Trump. They've accused Trump of being an operative of the Kremlin. They still think so. These are the people who spread information that misinforms all the time. So anyway, Jim Jordan, very effective, a fighter, and he's going to go after actual corruption, which what we see with Hunter and Joe and everyone around them is an obvious graft and bribery scheme. You can look in the Judiciary Committee. So he'll win Speaker of the House. He is going to be an amazing Speaker of the House. And they really can't stop what's coming in terms of the poll numbers. We'll get to that in a second. Trump is already defeating mashed potato brains in an average of polls. So Trump is already up by 1 in an average of polls, having been indicted 4 times and impeached twice as president. He's defeating Biden in an average of polls. And the reason is because everybody knows the corruption is, if you're into politics, you know the corruption is within the Democratic Party. If you're just a casual observer, you say, well, Trump must be corrupt because there's all this mania and hysteria over everything he does. But if you look at the House Judiciary Committee, which Jim Jordan is the chairman of, House Republicans demand records from Hunter, but also he goes after not just obvious graft and bribery schemes. You can look. He goes after the political side of, he addresses the political issues. So Chairman Jordan responds to the Fulton County District Attorney. Jordan demands documents on Hunter probe. He knows very well they're going after Trump politically in a key state in a very important state in Georgia. Jordan demands documents on Hunter probe with top prosecutor, interview with top prosecutor. He wants to find out why these people investigating Biden in terms of a special counsel haven't found anything. When if you can look, you can just look, Daily Mail, you have details of a $10 million Biden bribery scheme here. It's not difficult. People are giving money to the Bidens for access, for beneficial treatment. They're literally asking Hunter for influence. And so not only does Jim Jordan investigate obvious bribery and graft, he's not like a never Trump Republican that's just fine with rampant corruption on the Democratic Party side and absurd allegations at Trump to hide the rampant corruption. So with Biden and with Hunter, you have a bribery scheme. Okay, with this article, it's a $10 million bribery scheme, but you also have Chuck Grassley. You have James Comer, the House Oversight Committee. You have Chuck Grassley in the Senate with interviews, with evidence and testimony from people at the Internal Revenue and the Central Intelligence. So you have all of this information, all of this evidence showing that people were giving money to Hunter and Joe and people around them. And Biden lied through his teeth about not knowing what Hunter was doing. It's an obvious racket. Everybody knows what's going on. This isn't rocket science. With Trump, you can accuse him of inflating his net worth. Nobody knows what that means. And I explained in the segment prior to this that in New York, or elevating properties, in New York, You can, if you want to spend $250 million for an apartment, which nobody on the planet, virtually nobody would spend for an apartment, you could do so. Okay, there is no such thing as overinflating properties in New York, especially when you can't find a lending institution or a bank that was the victim of any fraud committed by Trump. They all made money with Trump. They all lent Trump billions because they made money. But here you have a $10 million bribery scheme, okay? You have a laptop full of incriminating evidence. By the way, hit subscribe to this channel right now. This is a Daily Mail article. Then you have the emails within Hunter's laptop that were hidden, or I should say suppressed, by 50 intelligence officials in every tech company 2 years ago, or no, going on 4 years ago. So if they don't have every single possible advantage, ladies and gentlemen, they lose to Trump. And people know Trump defeated Clinton in 2016. He'll do so again in 2024. Clinton's running again, like I've been saying. So you have what's taking place is that they're going after Trump. They're accusing Trump of everything under the sun because they actually are corrupt, far more corrupt than Trump ever is alleged of having been. And every possible conviction in New York, okay, or through a special counsel will either be overturned by the Supreme Court, and I explained that on this channel, or in the case of the special counsel will be dissolved, especially if, hopefully, when Trump defeats Clinton. I think Clinton will be the Democratic nominee. I don't know how, but I can't imagine Clinton not becoming, especially with everything. She's in the news right now. But anyway, he defeats Biden. I think Clinton could raise enough money to make it even more competitive. But here you have, and with Democrats, they'll vote for anyone. So if Fetterman and Biden won their respective positions in government, Hillary's probably looking and saying, yeah, I'm going to run again. They've been blaming the Kremlin and they've been blaming another country for their failure for years. They never accepted the results in 2016. Not for one moment that they accept Trump as their president. And then they complain when Trump didn't accept very, very bizarre anomalies. I mean, tech companies coming to the rescue. 50 intelligence officials, very peculiar, bizarre occurrences where you have a fact check. We spoke to somebody within the local government, and that person said that Trump is wrong. Like, that's not a fact check. That is simply not a fact check. That's called public relations. But here you have Trump defeating Biden in an average of polls after having been indicted 4 different times. Now, you tell me, ladies and gentlemen, how that's possible. It's possible, obviously, that's a rhetorical question. It's possible, obviously, because everybody knows that Hunter and Joe and others around them engaged in a bribery scheme. It's not difficult to understand. It's Tammany Hall. They went ahead and they traded access to the U.S. government, or the allure of access, and one of the business associates testified in Congress and said the allure of access. So they play these stupid semantic games. They didn't give access, they gave the allure of access, so it's not really any type of bribery or graft. But Joe Biden, he bragged on camera, boasted about forcing out a prosecutor, withholding $1 billion in loan guarantees. Okay, actually stated, if you don't do this, you will not get this. And then they impeached Trump for an ellipsis, saying that he withheld military assistance, which he didn't withhold. They got the military assistance. And the leader of that country, by the way, invaded under Biden's watch, stated, yeah, that never happened. What took place, what they were accusing Trump of doing never happened. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Jordan. The interesting thing about him is that we're finally going to get somebody who is a Trump Republican as Speaker of the House. That will be a huge sea change. And the reason that I end with these poll numbers is that Trump's poll numbers will increase because of Jim Jordan, a great deal. by probably 2 to 3 points. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you.